Welcome YouTube, welcome Twitch, and welcome Mixer in another sort of update issue of I'm Going to Pretend I'm a Race Driver in Assetto Corsa Competizione. And we have an update today for Assetto Corsa Competizione. Mouthful, wow, that's great. We're on version 1.0.4. That means there's been two updates today, so basically something got updated and fixed, and lots of things have been fixed since I've last played, or apparently fixed, I don't know, because it's not since I've last played.
Says H. Sage Cedar
hello.
Says E. Sage Cedar says L.
I hope it's not
Sage
more than
Cedar
hello.
Says L. Sage Cedar says O. Sage Cedar says underscore. Sage Cedar.
No.
S. Sage Cedar.
I'll have to turn the on. I'll have to turn stuff off there.
Says hi. Sage Cedar.
Hey.
Says
Hey,
L.
Dan.
Sage Cedar says S. Sage Cedar.
Sage Cedar.
A.
Careful. But hi, how you doing? I hope you're good, at the very least, and stuff like that. Right, how are we doing? Right, so we're going to look at what the update has brought. Hopefully it has brought some good things. And as you can see, I have something up here.
Sage Cedar says, I tried to delete them, but it kept going.
Yeah, it would do. It would do. Right, let's see. So, we've got, hopefully you can see some stats on your screen. So, those stats that you can see above me are what my CPU is doing.
Sage Cedar says,
Right, so that's what my CPU is doing. As you may or may not know, if you're new to my streams, in Assetto Corsa Competizione, I have been having a couple of issues with the CPU loading versus the GPU loading. Basically, even though you can see kind of the CPU that I've got in there, and you can see obviously what I've got for a GPU there, it's been a little bit eek, just like that. So there's two eeks been said already tonight, but that's cool. We're gonna get on with it, and we're gonna see what we can see now. A couple of changes have been brought into the game. One I do know is in VR they have now added some mouse and keyboard support. So as you can see, I'm using a mouse, or you may not be able to see, but I've got a mouse in my hand and I am using it to select things. Now, oh, but you can't see the menu, but it's there, it's there. We're going to drive this lovely Ferrari, which is the Ferrari of David Perel, who just incidentally tweeted earlier that he had been playing this in VR as himself, which is going to be a very, very strange moment in time. And he certainly said it was rather surreal. And I can well believe him. And I'm going to pretend to be him now, but I'm not going to be able to drive anywhere near as good as him. Just going to say that straight away. So, David, if you are watching, I'm sorry, I don't drive your car as well as you do. Right, I'm going to test out a couple of things, so that you kind of get the idea of things. I've left all the settings at what they were the last time I played, which is pretty high, and we're still aiming for 45 frames per second. I'll go over some of those later when we look at changing stuff. So we're going to just step to Nuremberg in the very early hours of the morning and have a quick race. I keep on pressing back. I got to use the race room. Ah! And others. I keep on doing that. Every time I play this game, I really should remap the buttons. Right. So, here we go. We have a lovely looking Ferrari here. And this is David Perel's Ferrari. He's number 333. And it's all there ready. We're in Nuremberg and it's like 4 o'clock on a clear, starry night. 4 o'clock in the morning, that is. So nice and early. Yay. Right, let's get this started.
Go in double file.
As you can see, my
Low time pressure.
CPU does get a little bit used. Now, I do have to note that I will have a little bit of things that will be different here, in that when I'm streaming, there's about an extra 6% of my CPU gets used up dedicated to the stream. Ah, that wasn't our fault. We had some people pushing us from behind. Now, the steering wheel feels a lot looser than what I'm used to. It's feeling very light on the steering. Something doesn't feel right there. I'm used to the steering feeling a good bit more heavy. So the force feedback on my wheel is not feeling the best at the moment. Which is a shame. So it's feeling very, very weak, and it is not feeling right at all with the force feedback. Little wide. Nobody saw that, honestly. Yeah, I'm hardly feeling anything off the steering wheel. It's very disturbing, actually. I wonder why that is, because that is... It's one of the things that ACC had been really, really good at in the past, was making me feel the car was there and alive. A little wide. It's okay. Hello, Bentley boat. I've got hardly any feeling in this steering, I do have to say. So that's something that's not so good. That is definitely something that's not so good. Let's try and take a look at the options. Options. And I want controls. And oh my word, that's changed. That's changed a lot. I know you guys can't see it, but what? Whoa, whoa, whoa. That has changed a lot. Now, there's some things here that says driving control, and it says direct input, then it says X input, then it has keyboard. Has all of my my steering readouts, my throttle readouts, brake readouts, clutch readouts, shifters. Then we have force feedback, gain, minimum force, dynamic dampening, road effects, then steering lock, and then brake gamma. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah. So we want, obviously, to use the wheel, which is direct input. I'm going to turn the gain up. Oh, whoops. I'm going to turn the gain up immediately. I'm going to push that to the 100. Minimum force, is on 10 at the moment. Dynamic dampening I've got set to 0. Now, I don't know what's going to happen there. We also have steering lock of 900 degrees and a brake gamma of 2.4. And then, off to the right, so you've got an idea, instead of there being like a switch, like this bit of the controls, then you switch page, and then you have another page of controls, and then you switch page, and you have another page of controls. They have basically got control bindings. It has a line for the direct inputs, which would be my G29 steering wheel, shifter, pedals, and then also my Rhino X56, which I've got some switches that also kind of work. So if I push a switch, it's also telling me what it does. That's a great improvement. That is a wonderful, wonderful improvement. I like that. That is brilliant. That means that I can do a lot of things. So it'll say increase traction control, increase brake bias, parts, ABS increase, ABS decrease, change my HUD, so I can press a button and it'll basically tell me what that button is actually doing, which is great. I like that. That is a very good improvement. Hopefully, the steering wheel will be as good there, but that's really, really odd. Okay. Right. Looks wise, I'm going to say it, obviously, while I'm streaming, it's a little bit less stable in the frame rate. It looks okay, but there's a bit of a wobble here and there. And as you can probably see from my CPU usage and stuff like that, I think it's a little bit... Yeah. Right, let's race. Done. Oh, that's fixed a little bit, I think, but no, not much. Still not enough. It's like the entire thing on the Logitech has just gone soggy. And that's a real shame. I am going to say this, I did have one quick look at the graphics performance when I was offline, and it seemed a little bit more stable while I was offline. So that extra little bit of percentage in terms of CPU, as you can see from all my cores being loaded up, would have been helpful. Yeah, that's just not feeling good. That's a shame. That is a real shame. If they've gained some good things and then lost the steering, that's gonna be like, ah. Oh, had to avoid the Bentley boat there. We've got the time set to go at 25 times normal, so we should, in theory, see sunrise at some point, which I can just already see the light is changing. We can see the light is shifting. We can see some clouds in the sky, a little bit of blue as the stars kind of peel away a little there. We're gaining. I'm really not feeling the force feedback in the way that I feel they should be. I'm glad the Ferraris are so stable. This car is very stable because at the moment, without that force feedback, it would be a little bit... I have got this on the loose setting.
Stormy Daniels says, Robert De Niro's waiting, talking Italian.
Hey Stormy, how you doing? Check that out. Little bit of a sneaky dive there. How's your week been, Stormy?
Stormy Daniels says, what's popping?
The sound of engine exhausts. That's what's popping, the sound of engine exhausts. Oh,
Stormy Daniels says, did you like E3? Who won?
there's some good bits in E3. I have to be careful about how much I think about what bit of E3 while driving, you know. There's the sun. Here comes the sun. Do, 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 do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Do 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 do. I could have been braver there. I chickened out a bit. In we go. Let's try and keep close to him. And on the power. Hello, Mr. Bentley Boat. I'm going to want to take over you here. And we did. But the rest of the field is just sped away.
Stormy Daniels says, "Fight your right to party."
Oh, that was close. Had to be very patient there because I almost messed that up very big time. Look at that. I love how good this game looks. It really does look nice like that. But it is a performance hog on the CPU still. GPU side is high as well, but that's okay. It's that CPU side that really does worry me a little, but considering I'm streaming at the same time, it's holding up quite well. We have most things set to pretty high standards here as well. Oh, he messed up big time. And by he, I mean me. And that's a mess. Oh, I can see the other cars. Yeah, I can see the other cars off in the distance there. We just have to try and catch them.
This has been your first device.
That was almost a very big mess on my part. That was awful. I wasn't thinking about that one properly. But one thing that's really, really missing is the feedback on the wheel here, which is a shame because, as I've said so many times before, the force feedback in this game has been amazing. So I'm hoping that I can find a solution to whatever's gone on with that here, because it's not feeling right at all. messed it up near the end. Let's go. Oh, stop doing that. I messed it up right at the end. That's not a good move. I was doing okay, and then I wasn't. And I totally messed that up. But I would like to say, you know, it felt a bit different there, but the steering is feeling a lot lighter than it should for me. I'm not feeling anywhere near the effects that I felt before. I don't know. Maybe I got too used to race run, but it's feeling very light. And I've really overcooked that. Oh, look at that Lamborghini right in behind me. They can smell blood, and they're right too, and I messed it up. Oh! Right, we'll leave that one there. So, performance-wise, it's looking better. I do think it is looking more stable than the last release. Let's actually, we're going to finish this race off, because then we can actually see about maybe changing some of the graphics settings as we go. Look, all the smoke going up. I know that they've added a different anti-aliasing method in this version as well, or a couple of versions ago, which will be interesting to see what that does. I have the overall resolution at the moment is being set not in-game, but by my Oculus Mirror tray tool. There's the finish flag.
Good job. You did the best you could. I'll bring the car back.
So, right, there's a bit of a replay for you to see. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to look at some graphical options while they go round. Looks pretty. Oh, that didn't look pretty. There's me getting held up by that. Yeah. That wasn't the funnest part, to be held up there. Right, so basically speaking, one of the first things to do is to change something that was broken before, and that's when you had the resolution scale set to 100 in an Oculus headset, that all of the overlays, the HUD and things like that, would get lost in the framework of the car. So I've just set that back to 100, and we're going to apply that, and that's going to be a simple first step of a test. We can go back from there, and we're going to say restart, and we're going to say confirm. So this will tell, will show me if there are issues over the HUD having still a problem. And thus far, I can see the HUD fully. None of this clipping in and out with the rest of it business. So that's good. Let's press confirm to start. Yep, I can see the HUD fully. I've got my safety thing up there, so compliance and that.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Right, I'm pausing here so we can change some of the graphics. I mean, look at that as a sight. How cool is that? I mean, this does look amazing, doesn't it? I mean, if I was to stand up here a second, let me just check that out. How good does that look? It looks so good. All the fabrics there look amazing. The stitching and quality on stuff here as well. That just looks so good. And that, I mean, the cars just, yeah. They look so good. Right. Let's get back into this, though. We're going to take a look at what the options have. So I'm going to change something one at a time there. So there is one thing that's just obviously immediately come from this, and that is that's working. You can also see I've just paused, and immediately the CPU usage has dropped dramatically. The GPU is still way up there. It's using my NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti Founders Edition basically to its fullest, which is what we want it to do. And bearing in mind that I am actually using the NVIDIA codec as well to stream this video out at the moment. So not only is the NVIDIA card doing all of the lifting for the game, it is also doing all of the heavy lifting for encoding this stream, which is at 1080p, 60 frames per second, and at a bandwidth of 6,200 kilobytes. So, is it kilobytes? Yeah, it is K, isn't it? Or bits, bytes, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the encoder does, it's 6,200 of them. There you go. So that's as high as we can get for Twitch. That's the highest bit rate that Twitch allows. So that's pretty damn impressive that it's still towing the line while doing this amount of detail. But as I was saying, the aim is actually in here 45. One of the reasons I usually go for the 45 as well, and turning asynchronous space warp off in this game, is that apparently there's an issue where if you have high CPU usage and lower GPU usage, which isn't happening now anymore, asynchronous space warp tends to go a bit funny. I'll try and demonstrate that actually. See if it does it or doesn't do it while I'm racing, and then we'll know. View and edit. If I turn super sampling, I'm going to turn the asynchronous space warp to auto. I'm just going to say OK. And that should hopefully apply that. And then we should see what happens when we get into a bit of a race there. So they've fixed the HUD. So first point I wanted to see, for Oculus, I'm not getting the cut through of the HUD being obscured by parts of the car anymore, which is obviously a very big deal and was breaking a lot of things for people. And there was a workaround, but it's you know, wasn't supposed to be ideal. So this has already changed something, but like I said, force feedback at the moment feels kind of a little bit broken to me. Right, let's drive.
Right, here we go. Go, go, go.
Wow, 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 wow. What's happening? What's happening? That was a nasty bit of AI. That did not care at all. Okay, that's probably us back in last place. No, we're in 17th. That's who's behind us? I have no idea then. So I thought we would be last from that.
Duka says, hey, what's up? Pablo
Hey, how you doing?
says, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing? Join me as we're testing some things here. Though that the first couple of corners were a little bit sticky, basically. Not much I could do about that. I did have a little bit of a dive to the inside, but I wasn't expecting some of... Oh, ho, ho, so wide. Oh, it does look good.
Says, very well, thanks. What's new racing?
Oh, hang on. I will have to see that in a sec. We are racing a Ferrari and testing a few things out, because there has been a couple of patches today for here in ACC. Did you see the fire spitting out of the back of that Lamborghini? Wah! Sorry. How red their brakes were. That's how not to do this. but the force feedback is not working as it should at the moment. It's a beautiful game. If the graphics are working right, and as you can see, it's very demanding on my system. Though, as I was saying, if I wasn't actually streaming, I can tend to get away with a little bit more. And I took that corner awfully because I was thinking about something else. That's my excuse, I'm sticking with it.
Gaming says, name on your YouTube. Now I have a different name on YouTube, so this is different.
Oh. Hang on.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
Right, we're going to have a couple of looks
Pablo
there.
1975 says, tried it since the update. Grateful for the mouse navigation for VR, but still runs like a dog on my system. Confused face.
Yeah, there's a couple of things there. I mean, you can see how I've got it here. It's still running like 45 is still the bench there. I did turn asynchronous space warp back on. In the past, asynchronous space warp off has been the way to go on this. I'm not noticing major upsets at the moment with having it on. Oh, damn it.
Pablo 1975 says, do you use tool tray?
Yes, that doo-doo-doo was me accidentally turning the tool tray off instead of minimizing it before and then turning it back on again. So I'm just going to change the profile here. So in my profile, I have the Assetto Corsa set to 1.4 super sampling, and I usually have the ASW mode set to off. It's actually set to auto in here at the moment because I was trying to see something. So I'm going to turn that back off. I also have the CPU priority set to high for the game. So that the game is set for a high priority so it gets first dibs on the CPU. But you can see all of my cores, the CPU usage across all of my cores. And that is, of course, a Core i7-9700K. And you can see what it's actually doing in terms of utilization and where the boost speed is actually. You can see the base clock is 3.6, but it's boosted at 4.6 here at the moment. And you can see sort of like what it's doing across there. You've also got my readout of my graphics there as well. So we're going to change a couple of things up. Oh, I see. Hey, so Dubka, yeah, yours on the YouTube stuff there. Okay, I got you. Thanks again for joining. Always a pleasure to have more people in. But yeah, so I am using Tray Tool with this, you know, so that is there. Let's go into the settings and take a look at something else. Because I know they've got a different temporal alias and a little thing, that's the word, anti-aliasing. So we have our mouse support. I know you guys can't see the options screens that I'm pulling up. You'll be able to see the graphics. And I'm going to change out some of this graphics. So I'm glad to say the HUD cutting through the framework works. I'm going to change the anti-aliasing type from the temporal and have a look at what happens with this. It's got KTAA, so temporal looks like that, and KTAA looks like that. If I try mid on that, oh, mid looks okay. Little bit of a shimmer. It's a little bit hard to see some of that. Let me just sticking my head out of the window. I feel like I should be panting or something and say, you know. Right. So anti-aliasing with it turned off. We go like that, and you know, immediately everything's got a shimmer to it. If I put it on mid and then do this, then everything calms down and actually looks pretty sweet. I'm not at all displeased with how that's looking. If I turn it to high, it gains a good bit more stability, but not that much. The sky changes a good bit. These stars, if I put that down to no anti-aliasing, then it gets really quite bitty, and you've got those stars popping in and out. If I thing that, they stabilize, and the sky looks really, really good. And now if I put that to high, I think I actually lose some detail. I'm going to put that to mid. We'll see if that makes a difference. So just that one sort of change. So I've changed the anti-aliasing type from temporal to this new KTAA type. I don't know what the KTAA type is and what it does in technical words, but it's a different type. We'll try it out because we know that our other FXAA is just no. So temporal versus KTAA, and I've got it on mid. So we'll see how that looks and how it plays. See if that makes a difference to our performance. I doubt it's going to make much to the CPU performance, and I doubt it'll make that much to the graphical performance, but we'll take a look. Oh, I can now see a few more jaggies, but now that I've come back into it, but we'll see how I like it. Yeah, there's a couple more jaggies there. So it's not ideal. It's not bad, actually. This is pretty good. Looks pretty smooth compared to what FXAA would be, but it's yeah. Maybe push that up a little bit more. It's not bad. still a little bit too jaggy on the mid, I think. I feel like it'd be, yeah, no, not quite. Not quite. It's looks good. It does look very, very good, but those jaggies off in the distance as you're moving at speed are not cutting it. You know, that's one of the things. It is impressive, actually, how much this has come on since the early iterations. I know one thing that I made as a comment very early on throughout the early access stages, I think up until the release, pre-release 7. So the early access 7 release had a lot of changes. But one of the things that I remember back when it was very early is the trees, where they had the trees and the leaves. If you went like that, they would all move like that. And you know, Assetto Corsa and different games like that wasn't the only one to do it. But they actually fixed that part and portion of the engine, how they work the tree system and stuff like that. So that does look really good. But yeah, it is a bit of a resource hog. Right, let's just take a look at the video settings, and I'm going to change from this anti-aliasing of mid with this KTAA. I'm going to change that up to high, and that's going to look, I can't see as something good to focus on. Let's see, that's probably a good bit to focus on. Yeah, I can see that. So we're going to add that in, and then that stabilizes out a bit, I think. But the proof will be in the driving. Yeah, no, that looks all right.
Well done, mate. The fastest step so far.
Oh, what happened to them? That sky looks pretty. I think the processor loading there looked alright, but there's still, it's got a kind of odd effect to the frame rate there. Detail-wise, I like this though. Graphically, you know, it's looking pretty good. Frame rate could be a little smoother though, I don't know. But I'm reckoning if I was off of stream, that's going to be a little bit better.
1975 says, what FPS you getting?
I can't tell at the moment. I would need... It will be 45 basically. It won't be 90. There's no way that it'll be 90 with 20 cars on the grid. You got 20 cars on the grid plus me, plus mostly maxed out settings or high to mid settings throughout most of it. So that's, you know, let me just go into Tray Tool. Oh, did that? I'll put the performance thing on, because one of the problems with FPS is that FPS monitoring doesn't really give you the whole of the picture in different ways. it's so hard to tell what's going on in some parts, but FPS, you know, you have to either have this overlay that you guys can't unfortunately see, only I can see here, or you get other FPS readers that won't be actually reading the FPS as it is in the HMD. It'll be reading screen FPS and different things like that, and won't give you guys the true answer. But basically, at the minute, yeah. So I've just put a performance overlay. This makes it a little bit hard for me to be driving as well, because I've now got a big square here that's semi-transparent, that's got obviously the app to motion photon latencies, the performance headrooms, application frame drops, which is obviously the frame drop rate of the main application. So I'm aiming at 45, so that is constantly increasing. Then you have the compositor frame drops. Now,
1975 says, "We appreciate it."
Cool. I'm glad that that's hopefully of help. So what you have there is the compositor. Oh, I can't say it now. Compositor. That's the word. Sort of frame drops. That's when it drops below 45, basically. When it drops below 45, it can't do anything. That's where you get a stutter. And that stutter is what you really, really want to avoid. Okay, let's, it's better to have stable at 45 than to have it going 90, 45, 90, 45, 90, 45 or below 45, you know. Anytime it drops below 45 is just not good. So at the moment, I'm constantly going to be running a performance headroom of minus something. Let's drive again. I need my foot to the metal. So yeah, that's just saying basically 45, 50, 56 frames, 60. So this is theoretical frame. I haven't got asynchronous on, so it shows me something other than 45. So we're getting 60 FPS down here. And that's a complicated part there. But there's not many cars in my view at the minute. That sun though is awesome. Right, let's start this from a restart point, so I've got a lot more cars by me, a lot more detail, a lot more traffic that will make things harder to do. We'll make it as hard as possible for the graphics card in there. So we've got nighttime, we've got all these light sources, we've still got all the detail, we've got the lovely night sky. That's reasonably difficult. We don't have the rain, because the rain is going to make it even more difficult to drive, so, you know.
Says, "Got a shoot bud, CYA."
Take care, Pablo. Thanks for joining. Right, let's see what this does.
Going double file.
So again, we're like at that 45. We are losing a couple here. So at the moment it is dropping a little bit down below the 45 here and now. Now it's 45 solid. But we do have a full grid, full visibility. We've got the whole mirrors are on.
Green light, go, go, go.
I hate it when you miss up that start on the rolling start. Lost like 2-3 places in there. Oops. Right, let's try something else here. Since we messed that up, we may as well change some graphics options again and see what else they've changed in here. Let's give you a quick rundown. So it's, you know, that's pretty stable. If I wasn't streaming, that's going to be a stable 45. That's going to be nice. It's going to be smooth. Ideally, obviously, you do want it at 90, but that isn't happening at the moment here. So my view distance here is high, shadows high, anti-aliasing is high. I've got the new KTAA, which I'm not minding actually. I think it's looking pretty good. It does have a little bit more shimmer, but I think performance-wise, it was maybe working a little bit better there. The effects are on high, post-processing is high, foliage is high, textures are high. The mirror view distance is 70 meters. The mirror quality is mid. The opponent's visibility is set to 32. So that's everybody on the grid. I know it says 70 in here. It's not. It's actually... it says 70 for VR pixel density. It's not. It's set to 1.4. So that's where that is. Okay. Advanced stuff. We've got materials are high. Temporal upsampling is enabled. The bloom quality is set to epic. Volumetric fog is set to low. Foliage LOD quality is set to high. The HLOD is enabled, and the advanced sharpening filter is also enabled. The image customization, obviously, motion blur disabled, saturation 100, white balance neutral, sharpness is at 80, frame limit is off, and camera dirt effect is on 3, light absorption is high, image contrast is 0.5, exposure gain 0.40, and locked horizon 0, so we want to keep that head locked to where it should be, so that for me it feels good. Of course, that's a preference thing that's not to do with the visual quality, but to do with how it locks your head in there. So that is all cool. So, right, let's go back there and click the restart, confirm. Right. So, start that race. Yeah.
Stay in double file.
So we've got a little bit here where it's like, on this startup grid, it's like dropping a couple of bits here and there. Going down to like about 42 minimum.
Green light, give it all you can.
That was my fault, totally. I really did bump them there. Totally bumped them there. Oh, where are they going? Just when you get up close to these cars like this, it is really, really cool. So yeah, 45 stable. Looks pretty sweet. There is something very scary about being that close to another car there, though. Not gonna lie, it's damn impressive when you do it. Wasn't a good line, but I got away with it. I was being cheeky. They'd probably do me for cutting there normally. But hey, it's VR, we can do this. I was almost taking a little bit too dodgy there. Oh, doesn't break enough. What was I thinking? Not a lot. I was thinking of getting through here and also reading the stats in the headset, which is still locked at like about 45, 47, occasionally jumping up to 50, 60s. So that is kind of things there. Let's try and... Oh, that felt a bit better. Hello, Mr. Bentley. Bye, Mr. Boatley.
Vited's VR.
Oh.
Evening salsa.
Hey, Vitted. How you doing, buddy? I'm on the trying to find out what they've done in the updates trail again, see if we can push it out more. But CPU locking, I mean, performance-wise, it is impressive to look at. While I'm streaming, it's taking some extra knocks to the VR performance, but it's enough for me to say this is stable enough.
I'm good, thanks.
Glad to hear that, buddy. So yeah, it's like 50 FPS down here.
How is your practice going?
This isn't a practice one, this is just checking out the new update. So there's a couple of updates that dropped in ACC here today. I didn't practice stuff for this Sunday. I don't know what's exactly happening this Sunday. I've got stuff to arrange with Gamers Hang as well for the nice bit of a chat we're doing there. We don't know if Nat is going to be able to go on the live stream or not as of yet. And we may or may not have a special guest. We're not sure about that yet. So it's all go. How you doing though, buddy? And the light changes there. We're still getting frame rates of like 50s. So it's stable enough while I'm doing the streaming to be able to do that. So that's not bad. It's certainly an improvement from where this game first started. And I'm glad to see, you know, we know that Kunos as a developer is the sort to sort of like bat away at things and keep on going until they do get it right. This is, you know, this is new territory for them. It's new territory for Unreal Engine and Epic. Having this level of simulation stuff running, because all that physics simulation is, you know, typically very demanding and CPU intensive anyway. And that also plays into what's possible inside the game engine as well. Little bit of touch there. Oh, that looks so gorgeous as a transition though.
We are at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
The light transition in this does look absolutely beautiful. Too much. And now I'm just being mean to them. And mean to myself and hurting my own lap times. But look at how that looks. I mean, you can see the performance stats of my CPU cores. And I'm betting most of them are pretty much maxed out. I don't know how it behaves with hyper-threading. My CPU does not have hyper-threading. I would probably fare a little bit better if it did. That was okay. I felt that was okay. That was not so good, but livable. The bad way to take that corner. Could have been faster through there. I'm missing an element there. I was shifting down. I should have stayed in that higher third gear. Oh, that's... Oh. And that's put me into last place. But the frame rates are staying pretty damn stable. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with how that's looking. Let's take another change on something. Let's try and change something here. So options, video. So, as an experiment, one of the things that obviously is a big hit to system performance is mirrors. So, I'm going to actually turn these mirrors off for a moment. We're going to turn those mirrors off and see what that does to the CPU performance. And, you know, you guys can see what my cores are doing, and I'm going to be able to review these back as well. And we'll see if that makes an overall difference to anything at all. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference to my FPS, but I could be wrong, because at the moment the GPU is so loaded up there as well, so I don't think it's going to make a change to the FPS, but we'll see. Right, boom. We'll knock that in. And we'll restart again. Not replay. I didn't want to replay. I wanted to restart. There we go. Confirm. Okay. So we're in from here. We've still got 45 locked. So no change there.
Going double file.
Still going between that 45, 42 sort of thing where I was. CPU usage is a lot lighter, as you can tell, but it's not light enough to make the change.
Green light, show them where to go.
Still 45. You know, for me, mirrors is more useful than... in this situation than not having mirrors. I'm not gaining much from not having the mirrors. Not really gaining anything in FPS. My CPU is probably thanking me and saying, hey, we got a break. There's about 10% gain in 10% reduction in CPU usage, and the GPU is still roughly the same. So it's the cools on there. The GPU is still kind of cranking it. No, 81%. It's gone down quite a significant amount there. But I was happy with the GPU being kind of up there. That CPU figure is still quite erratic. Mr. Bentley Boat there having a bit of a look. Not an ideal line through there, but you know. Yeah, the CPU usage has come off a good bit there. Let's see what happens on removing some shadows as well, or removing some of the shadows down. So the shadows at the moment are on high. If I was to place my shadows onto low, which I don't normally want to do because I like having the detail in the shadows, but as an experiment to see if I can gain the extra FPS. But that's gained me some FPS. How much that affects the overall gameplay, not quite sure yet. We shall, or graphical look, we shall see. Has gained me some FPS though, definitely, and that's before we started racing. Right, we'll go back into race there. Dump. No, we're back down to 45 straight again. Ah! That was not good. Let's get back and do a restart on that, because that just really did throw me for 6. So yeah, performance wise, where are we sitting? 82, 81, and we're getting yeah, 45 flat, 50s, 45 flat. So a little higher now. It's gone straight back to the 45 as those headlights have come on. So still looking 45, still got that same sort of overhead here. I'm not gaining much by that 60.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs. Green light, go, go, go.
You chose that time to tell me about the low tire pressure. Yeah, there's a smash. That was weird. Okay. So yeah, that's not really gaining me much, I don't think. I'm looking at that back. There's still high GPU. I'm not getting much in at all from turning those shadows down from high to low. So we're going to just put those back into high. Let's see, effects. I don't like turning all the effects off because I like my effects, but let's just, for the sake of experimenting, put this into low as well. See if that gains me anything. I've put my shadows back to high. And I want to restart there again. We'll just do a few stints of this through to the first corner, because it's one of the most demanding bits of graphical parts that I can use anyway. So bang on 45 again. No change really there. Processor wise, we're still using up plenty of processor. But stable.
line, give it all you can.
So, yeah, 45. Oh, wow. Thank you, Mr. BMW. So, same performance-wise again. And I didn't see too much of a difference in the CPU's cores there. I didn't notice that. On watching back, I'm definitely going to have a look and go, right, okay, maybe that's more or less, and maybe you can eke out more by dropping different parts all across, but that was not any form of substantial gain, I don't feel. So that was the effects, which I'm going to put back to high. Foliage, we'll put to low. I'm going to whack the textures to low at the same time. Oh my god, that looks completely different. Okay, this looks really, really different. So, we'll see. We'll see. Restart, confirm. So this is like low textures and low foliage. So, what have we got? 45 dead, 81 CPU, GPU, yeah, is okay. Let's start that. First gear. Again, 45. It's basically looking where I'd expect it to. Bad start. Bad start. But, yeah. Again, that's really not making difference to me. Either on any of the performance stuff there. So, I'm like, I may as well just have that set back up on the high again. There's like zero change to the FPS on that, and graph wise, yeah, they were all up. All the cores were all up. So yeah, that's not changed anything as far as that goes. So all on high. We can turn. I'm going to turn that mirror back on. Mirror quality up to, was it mid before or high? I can't remember what it was. Put it on high. Let's turn to temporal upsampling to disabled. See if that does something. But we've got the mirrors back again. So we know that mirrors did actually give us something at some points, but see if that temporal upsampling has any effects there if we were to turn that off. Right. Oh. Okay. Oh, it looks a lot more sparkly there. There's a few more flashes that are happening, so the image is less stabilized. some lights are really looking kind of blinding now. Frame rate wise, that's not changing much. Yeah, frame rate wise we're around the same. But the lights have taken on this sort of extra... Whoa! That Lamborghini, wow! I think that Lamborghini in behind me is trying to analyse what my bumper is made of. It's checking my exhaust fumes. Hello. Hello, Mr. Jaguar. So, yeah, FPS wise, again, not seeing much of a difference. Graphically, that's made the sort of light twinkle type of thing happen a little bit more, because obviously anything that has a temporal thing is taking multiple samples over multiple frames to gain results. He was gonna try and push me out there. Didn't let him. FPS wise, definitely still the same. So I think I can turn that back on pretty safely. Yeah, the cores were still loaded up pretty much as they have been. The graphics was still there as well. So we've still got a lot of things that are kind of like loaded up onto the system. Obviously, like I say, there are extra percentage overheads for running all the different things in the background that I do to make the stream happen. The graphics card is basically taking about a 6% hit to encode all the video. So the graphics card would actually have a little bit more headroom than it does. CPU, you're talking about a 6% hit for running OBS, and also for the chat bot and the web browser, you're looking at about a 1 to about 2.4, 2.5% overhead on the system. I have some additional audio routing as well that goes on, so that can add some to the system as well. But, you know, So if I'm doing this off stream, then I do gain a couple of little extra percentage, but not enough to make the big hits. Not enough to make the big hits that would be required. So we're gonna put that temporal upsampling back up to enabled. So yeah, I mean, most of the stuff I've got in here is high, and on my system it's pretty stable, pretty playable. We haven't been able to shake it from that yet. We'll do one more test. We'll give it. I've put all the graphics in there. We'll do the really awful thing to do, which is going to show how bad my driving will become. We're going to add some rain. We're going to add some heavy rain into the situation. And then we know what's going to happen here. When I add basically a nice thunderstorm with heavy rain in here, it's going to really basically get scary, and it should really tank the performance quite a lot. But it'll be interesting to see how much, because if it's running like that at that sort of time of day anyway, then doing this with everything else is either going to tank it or it's going to take it. I do expect some frame drops. I do expect some changes here. This is really doing a nasty thing to the game engine and the game in general. But it's a part of the game, so, you know, you've got to test it out. So here we are. Yeah, that is a lot of rain. Wow. Oh, that looks... Yeah, this is gonna be nasty. Yeah, we're already like dropping some frames. We're like on the 40 frames rather than 45. So I reckon if I wasn't streaming, then yeah, I could get that locked to 45. But wow, does it look impressive.
Green light, you was okay.
I can barely see them. Oh.
Love their V1.0 patch notes.
I'll have to check back what you said there. It's oh good God. So yeah, the FPS has taken a dive for me here. The patch notes. Well, the main patch note for the 1.4.
Sayavia says fixed gameplay freezes.
Yeah. But 1.3 was out this morning, and that did more than just that.
Says forum is full of complaints, winking face.
I bet it was. Though 3 is obviously this morning, wasn't it? And that's obviously added why there was gameplay freezes. And as you say, forum complaints. But the 0.3 added a load of other stuff. And obviously a freeze is a major problem. Whereas here, I haven't had any freezes. But I'm still, as you can see, my CPU is like absolutely crunched. But we are being very cruel and have placed this rain on there. How awesome is that, though? You can see clearly. I can see where there is just a cutaway in the glass here and there. It lets in air. That is crazy. You know, that is nuts.
Sayavia says, it's so not finished. Sayavia says, but the game looks great when it works.
Yeah. It does have some work to do. Kudos are working through things, which is one thing, obviously. But obviously we want it to be working fully. But for me, it's a good bit more stable. But the CPU is concerning. Like I say, I'm streaming here, so but I do have a pretty good system, so you kind of like would expect some pretty slightly better frame rates, or would at least hope for better frame rates, but it's still really, really loaded. But I do have everything basically set to high, which in this headset is higher than is probably needed, but I'm not gaining any FPS from lowering it. I'm set at like 1.4 on the super sampling, which isn't the best, but it's certainly not the worst. I don't get really much from going up to 1.5. And I would rather have the CPU a little bit more balanced and stuff like that. Off of stream, I think, you know, even with these settings, I would probably still have, well, I'd get it stable around 45. But I wouldn't look for more than that.
Oh, that's concerning indeed.
Well, you know, I don't think it's... Is it concerning? Yeah, it's concerning in the CPU usage. Definitely concerning in there, but I do have extra overheads when it comes to CPU and GPU. My GPU is taking like anything from a 6% hit on encoding the video. The CPU has got another extra 6% from the just from OBS, and a little bit more now and again, plus an extra couple of percent. So you're looking about an extra 10% of roughly 10%, probably max 10%, maybe slightly more at times, depending of extra loading that is happening from maintaining this stream. So there is some overhead that I have. Off of stream, it will be a little bit more stabilized. I think even this weather that I've got in here, I mean, at the moment, without the extra cars in here and me just sitting still, I'm getting 60 FPS. Which is definitely not ideal. Let's quit out of here a moment. And obviously, this is one of the more demanding tracks when it comes to loading, so that was a definite thing. Let's put it to slightly more pleasanter rain conditions. We'll try the light rain, because that was as much as it goes.
1.0.0 and 1.0.1 or 0.7.2 didn't do that to my experience, but later patches made it worse actually. How is your experience?
The 0.7.2 I think was the most stable in terms of performance. the 0.00 and 0.01, I think it was. I don't know if I did 0.01. I can't remember how quickly they released that one. But certainly the first initial release was a downgrade for me. I don't have anything put in the INI file. I found as soon as I put anything in the INI file, it broke everything. It just became a horrid, horrid mess. I know some people go, oh, well, I did this to the INI file and it made it amazing and worked. And I put the same things in my INI file and it made it lots worse. So there's that. What I am finding on this one though is my G29, it doesn't feel as much of the force feedback is here. It somehow lost some of the force feedback that I found quite good on the G29. This release though, at the moment, is definitely better than the first point there. It's staying more stable. Let's kick that in with that rain. So let's try that with the light rain this time. And I just want it to stay stable around 45. If it's stable around 45, I'm good with that. I've kind of, you know, defaulted to where that is at the moment. Obviously, to get it to 90 with this graphical detail, I would be quite the happy person. Right.
Double file.
Here we go. So we're slightly off there. We're like 40.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
In behind the Lexus now.
Green light, give it all you got.
What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm wrecking that. Lost all those places. Let's get back in there. So yeah, it's basically the rain has tanked the FPS quite a bit, but like I say, I think I would gain enough in I would gain enough off of stream to be able to do this at 45, because it keeps on dipping to about 42 and 40, which means I am now getting some frame dips that are slightly uncomfortable. It's certainly then making me sweat, which means as soon as I'm getting sweat like that, it means that it is affecting my head in terms of motion. I'm not, you know, I'm used to taking that and don't really feel it so bad. But as soon as you start to get a bit of a sweat, it's a little bit of an early warning sign that something is upsetting you a little bit too much there. So there's some instability at this frame rate that is definitely messing with my head a little. In the motion terms, but not to a full point where I'm going, oh no, I can't take it. or feeling, you know, personally I don't feel too adverse, but I know that that's a warning sign. If I'm getting sweat from something like that when I wasn't before, that's when you know there's something going to happen motion wise. And I would say that's probably where the frame dip is. So on stream, I'm going to have to be very careful about this whole rain side of things. But to give you an idea, obviously on other settings that I'm running here, I'm just going to go over this list quickly, and then I'm going to actually, I think, drop back out of the stream for today. How long have we been running, actually? Near 2 hours, so that's probably a good place to stop it. We'll maybe do one more race. We'll do one more race elsewhere. Yeah, we'll do one more race elsewhere, just as a bit of a tester. Maybe two things. Finish on a 15-minute thing out of the rain, where the FPS is going to be higher. So, yeah, okay. We do, of course, have mouse support as well now, which is something that a lot of people have wanted in VR. It's not been a thing for me. I had console play for a long time, so you didn't have a mouse to go around everything. I'm fine with having a D-pad. Obviously, if you've got more expensive wheels that don't have the D-pad on them and stuff like that, a lot of sim racers are used to using the keyboard mouse combo to actually sort a load of that out. Right. A quick rundown of what we've actually got in here. So above the line doesn't matter because that's your full screen, your VSync and your resolution. We leave those be. Resolution scale is at 100. They have fixed the HUD problem that was happening on Oculus, so my HUD has been visible. It hasn't been clipped into parts of the car. View distance is high, shadows high, anti-aliasing is high, and I've been using the new KTAA, which I quite like that. I find that's quite nice. I'm not getting temporal trailing with that one. The effects are set to high, post-process is high, foliage is high, texture is high. My mirror view distance is at 70 meters. That's not bad. In fact, that's pretty damn good. Mirror quality is high. Mirror opponent visibility is 32, so that's more than I've got on the track. The VR pixel density, I've got that set in my Oculus Tray tool to 1.4, so that would be 140%. Materials quality is high. Temporal sampling, upsampling, that was enabled. Should have been enabled, it's disabled there. The bloom quality is epic. It works. Volumetric fog is low. Foliage LOD quality is high. This HLOD setting is high. Advanced sharpen filter is enabled. And then, of course, you've got motion blurs disabled and the saturation is 100. The rest of this is basically to your preference. Sharpening 80, frame limits off. Dirt effect again is 3, but that's going to be to your preferences. Light absorption is high. That's really weird, actually. I'll show you what light absorption can do, maybe. So it's suddenly gone darker there. I think it's hard to see there. Let me just do this. Hard to see in this light. Image contrast, and I've got locked to our horizon at 0, which means that I have more jerking up and down with the car because that's how you would be in real life, because your head will be attached to your body, which is sitting in a car, and the car gets bumped, you get bumped, and everything kind of shakes around. So I don't have it where that if you have the rise and fall, it's going to lock in the horizon and keep that motion smoothness. I've got it so it bumps around a lot. Right, that's all been said. Let's quit out of here, and we're going to go to maybe a different track. Well, we are going to go to a different track. Right. And change that weather. I'm just going to put it to clear. I've not got the dynamic weather on. I've got that disabled at the moment. We're going to stay with our car here, which is David Perel's, or Pirel, yeah, it is Perel, who I believe earlier today was trying this out in VR, and he did actually say, like, it was, you know, very surreal for him to obviously be playing himself or in his own virtual car in the game, and look down and there's his virtual gloves and everything else like that, as he would in real life while he's playing in VR, which is kind of cool. There's a real inception moment going on there. I would really like to actually see some video of stuff like that, of where the real drivers actually get into, say, VR, if they've got a good enough system, which I'm guessing they do, and try this out, and can kind of like go, hey, yeah, give us some opinions and feedback as to the game. Though at the moment, like I say, the G29 at the moment, the force feedback seems somehow different. Maybe I'll change it up in terms of car. The Ferrari 488 here is a nice stable car, and I'm only running loose settings, so nothing that's going to be too difficult. Let's change the track.
Sayavia says, did David Perel try this?
Yes, David Perel did try it.
Sayavia says, or is he only on PS4?
No, from sounds of things, he was saying about 3D and stuff like that, so it sounds like he was on VR. So, because saying about 3D is usually something you would put with here. So we're going to go to Spa. But yeah, he said it was, you know, seeing the hands where his hands actually were with his gloves and stuff like that was very surreal. So
cool. Do you know his feedback on it?
not fully. Like I said, I would really like to see that, because that would be really cool to see some of the actual drivers, what they think of it. I know it's still early days here, and as we know, it's not perfect yet. It's got some real, it does have some performance issues here, but I have been feeling it's good enough while I was off stream to be very passable. But I do have a good system, and you do need a good system to run this game. Let's just make that absolutely clear. You definitely need a higher end of system to run this game. But yeah, it would be good to see what drivers actually think.
Sayavia says, I agree, grinning face with big eyes.
Right, let's go take a look at Spa, shall we? And of course, I'm in David's car at the moment, so there's a parallel there. I do like the Ferrari. It's a nice, stable car. It's a good all-rounder, and I've kind of got I've had the setups on a normal kind of loose setup. Let's change the setup actually. I'm going to change the setup of this car into the aggressive set. Okay, so that's the aggressive set loaded in. We'll see how we do.
Stay in double file.
Again, we're around that 45. It's jumping between 42, 45 here in FPS, and pretty much stable again at the 45.
Sayavia says, I find the sound engineer actually sounds like Lewis Hamilton.
Green light. Go,
Lol.
go, go.
Sayavia says, sorry asterisk race engineer.
Okay. I messed that up terribly. Oh, I do like the drama there. So yeah, we're around 45 FPS here. I'll have to take a look at your messages there a little bit again in a moment. Let's just remind myself of the track a bit. Spa I haven't driven as much as Nuremberg. Nuremberg is the one that I've really driven a lot. But everybody likes Spa though. Ho 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 ho! Wow, that wasn't good. Okay, okay, yeah. The race engineer. I thought he was making a comment first of all about the sound engineering in this game, which is exceptional. The engine sounds and all of the other sounds, how it accumulates nicely. Everything sound-wise in this game is absolutely nailed down, spot on. Sounds really, really good. It's one of the shining points of this game is the sound design. That I have to definitely say. Like I say, force feedback's still feeling a little on the light side. This isn't like some amazing direct drive wheel. This is just a G29. But I found
Sayavia
maybe they've
says,
changed something
it
there.
sounds and looks so good.
Yeah, it does. And if you know, it can drive really well as well. The gameplay can be very exciting, but performance-wise, it's still got a way to go here somewhere. You know, I'm not on a cheap system here. I don't know what, you know, I don't have the money to go and say, right, I've literally upgraded my system a tremendous amount. So I don't have the sort of like bit where I'm going to go, right, I'm just going to drop that on an i9 and then have to deal with cooling an i9 off more because they do superheat, and possibly get more out of it or not. But you know, my graphics card is right up to the nose with this as well, so I think for the moment it's where it is. I'm not displeased. I can play the game. You know, I can actually play this quite comfortably, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, that was rather aggressive there. Let's try with a slightly different car. Let's try something crazy. I also want to get this. I'm going to take these percentages away from sitting in front of my face because I've got all of the FPS and frame drop information just all the way across, which is why you're seeing me kind of angling my face up a bit there. So that I can be sneaking peeks down the bottom of the screen rather than driving more like this, which should be natural for me. Sorry a second. It's a bit hard. It's a bit harsh. So, yeah. Excuse me a second. Nothing but bin. Right. Okay, so we want to get rid of my Oculus Performance Tray Tool thing, because that's starting to annoy me a bit. It makes it hard to actually try and drive while you've got, you know, changing FPS rates and graphs and all of this business all up in your face. Because it's sort of like I've got graphs up here, I've got the performance things writing there, I've got the chat is like in here, and then you've got the graphs wherever you look. it does make it a little bit more of a challenge. Than just coming in here and playing it. But these things are sent to try us. And it's a part of what I do. That's right, my nose has decided that it's going to be a pain. Okay, right. Check the reflections out there as well. That is so cool. Oh. Obviously, this game has a lot of support with NVIDIA, has a lot of support with Epic as well. It's something new for them. There's RTX stuff that should be going on here, so there should be reflections based on ray tracing, path tracing, and all of that stuff. I don't know what else they're going to do with it. I don't know how that would affect him, but yeah, I don't know if this reflection here is baked or if that's a real one. I don't think it's done with the RTX side of things. If it is, then it's a lot more impressive. But I mean, that looks like it's got distortion parts going on, and there's all sorts of tricks that they've used to get this realism in the look. It does, you know, they have gone to some serious detail. Tell you what, I'm going to change car actually quickly, and still my nose wants to be a pain. Good. Right. So, bum, 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 bum. We're going to change car. We're going to go away from the Ferrari 488 to a different beast.
Says, bless you. Thanks for the insights as well.
You're quite welcome. What car should we drive? What car shall we drive? Oh, Lamborghini Huracan ST. Oh, it's a beast. It's a proper beast. I do like the NSXs. It's just not quite up to it, but I do like the NSXs. Jag, yeah. Should we go? We'll go out with one of the original cars. That's something that is a nice handful. Then the first.
Thanks for following.
Thank you, dude. That's very kind of you.
Sayavia says, I liked the Lexus. Quite stable for me.
I haven't driven the Lexus, actually. It's something I haven't done. I should maybe drive the Lexus. I don't think I've driven the Lexus. I'm pretty sure I haven't driven the Lexus. This is a 2016 one. Is there two Lexuses in here? Is it Lexuses or Lexi? I think there's only the one. Yeah. I have heard some comments from others that they did like the Lexus, and it was quite a drive. We'll put that in there. Ah. And
says, cool engine noise, but it is the 2016 only indeed.
Yeah. Obviously, at the moment, we've got this last season's cars. So at the moment, we should have all of last season's cars, which is why the NSX is still there, because it was there for a bit. And you're going to have this coming summer, I think we'll have the 2019 cars. So I don't know if that's going to be by end of season that basically all the 2019 cars will be in as well. But that will be in there as a DLC type of deal or whatever. So we should all get that anyway. Right. Setup. We're going to place it on an aggressive setup, which is probably a bad thing for doing for me around Spa, but we're going to do it anyway. And we'll go to start. I mean, especially for a car that I haven't driven before, really, doing the aggressive setup on a course that I do know, but I know I always get little bits a little bit wrong. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, that's a nice sound. That's not how to start this. That was not how to start it. That'd be a penalty right there. I'm going slow already. Feels very big, this car. Well, it is a big car, but it feels big. Especially next to the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. Oh, it's got a kick to it. I pushed that a little bit too hard, but that held quite well. That was a nice bit of sideways action there. Right, I want to restart that though. Okay.
Sayavia says, grinning face with big eyes, fun to drive, but I don't think the fastest one to drive.
Yeah, I
Stay double fire.
think that it's got a good bit of power behind it though. Definitely got some power behind it. It does sound nice. The way they start this part of the grid up around here is not so great. That rolling start on here.
Green light. Go, go, go.
They always do stuff like that to me. I lost all the positions there. Lost completely there.
Sayavia says, eye brake checking is a thing indeed.
Oh, that Lamby up against, you know, that Lamborghini in front of me. It does look so pretty. I know it's an older car, which is, but I do like the look of it actually. Bumped him a bit there. Totally trying to get me there. Oh yeah, that was good. I'll have to read that comment back. I didn't quite get it. Yeah, the brake checking, yeah. That was nice. Oh yeah, this is a pretty car to drive all right. Oh, that Boatley trying to get me on the inside. I was trying to be too fast there. Where do you go, Mr. Boatley? That was cool. Oh, I like that. It's got a beautiful sound to this engine. It sounds really nice and aggressive. That felt good. That felt good. Oh yeah, this is feeling all types of right. Oh.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
Oops, that was a bit of a cut. That was a bit of a cut. I'm not gonna lie, I cut that. Definitely. Oh, this just looks too beautiful. Oh. That was not where you need to be pushing the accelerator. That is such a shame. Oh, that does feel good though. This car definitely feels quite good. Getting a couple of FPS drops there. What's the CPU looking? I mean, the CPU was pretty jammed up there. I'm wondering if I can actually boost the overclocking slightly more. You have to be careful with overclocking. If you go a little bit too much, then you don't usually gain too much, but it's being stable. Hopefully heat-wise it's doing quite good as well. I wish they'd put heat on that as well. Performance. We know there's heat sensors in there. Why don't they put heat sensors there? Right, we're going to restart that. I do want to... I want to go around for at least one. But that was pretty damn nice car. And, I mean, look at the settings here. It does look so good. It's really quite convincing. But it is a performance hog.
Syavia says, do you have GPU Z? Syavia
I do.
to monitor.
Yeah, I do have GPU Z, but it's like, at the moment, it's another thing on the top of that. And, you know, this time I really wanted to have a look at basically what it was doing on the cores, what the percentages was with the cores as a main point. So overall percentage and percentage
Syavia
there.
says, true, I understand.
So, you know, it is it's okay with that, knowing that, and I can look back at this myself and try and analyze it as well, because we've got that on the stream, and I've been kind of checking it in here as much as I can, but it's hard to drive and do that and obviously balance the whole thing. So it'll be interesting to watch what's happening back here. Right, let's try and not get brake checked again.
Low tire pressure. Stay clear of the curbs.
Podium series, I would love to have one of those. Fanatec, if you want to drop one by my way, I'm not going to complain. That nice PS4 F1 business would be nice.
Green light. Give it all you can.
Okay, we was with it that time. Here comes the danger. Didn't take advantage there. We can gain a bit here. Be careful with the accelerator though. I don't want to stuff it. So we gained that, but we're losing that bit of the battle. Little friendly nudge. What's the saying? If you're not rubbing, you ain't racing. Oh, no, come on, get out. Oh, the skies do look amazing.
Viarvin BEANSEL says,
Hey, Mr. Beazle. Yeah. Oh, somebody's spun a bit. Car, Mr. BMW, out of my way. Hello.
Syavia says, sky looks amazing indeed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got that right. That was good. That was so good. Bye-bye, Mercedes-Benz. Smoke me a kicker. Kipper will be back for the next round.
Sayavia says, nice one.
That felt proper good. That really did feel good. Messed that up though. Have to be so patient on that corner. Right.
Sayavia says, that corner is a joker, tightens and goes on so long.
Yeah, it really does scare me, that corner. Ho ho ho!
Well done, mate. The fastest step so far.
This should be interesting. Messed that up. Messed that up. Could have been worse, but that was not neat. Lost some time there. We gained some back in the braking. Careful not to let it go here.
VRVinBEANSEL says,
Do you think the Oculus will give us a bigger FOV headset? Recently saw a video of the Max with 170 FOV on this game. Look great.
And a second. I'll need to read that back. You've been turned into a mouse, mate. Gotta love it when you get the comedy ones. I heard about FOV. Oculus doesn't obviously have that type of FOV. We've only got 100 degrees, 110 degrees. Oh, check that out. That list looks so spectacular when you get the sun like that. Keep that in control.
VRVinBEANSEL says,
VRVinMOUSEL.
We are at the halfway mark. Still a long way to
Yeah,
go.
I don't think Oculus at the moment is, you know, they're far from going to give us a bigger FOV.
says, it looks tough, right and so real. I drove Spar IRL a couple of times. The sun does not look like that.
It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous when it does it. Yeah, Van, with the current lineup of Oculus, no, I don't think that is anywhere in their remit to give us a wider FOV. It is obviously on the cards with the Valve Index, which has a 130 FOV. And no, that's screwed me over. I was planning to do that. I'm gonna go round and finish this off. It's such a shame that I lost it there. Damn it. I was hoping to end that on a bigger, much more closer racing with these guys. So yeah, Oculus isn't going to give us a bigger FOV headset. Just no. The older Pimax, you know, with the 170 doesn't look, has some issues because it gets a bit of warping distortions. You've got performance issues on powering that because it does require different things to be done for it. I think the Index is going to be interesting. Certainly the X-Tal. The X-Tal and the Star VR 1 are the two headsets that I would love to see this game in. Particularly because the X-Tal, with how they've organised it, it really doesn't like super sampling. When you do it to just straight on 100% native to what the screens in the X-Tal are, they're supposed to be absolute pin sharp. I think there's some similar things possibly with the Star VR 1. But those are expensive headsets. You know, you're talking like $3,500 as a baseline price. But they have like 200 to 220 degrees horizontal vision with 130 to 135 vertical. And that is basically the whole of the human visual range, the whole FOV that the majority of humans can actually see. So that will just blow your mind. You will be there. As long as you've got the performance in computing to actually power them. Because, like I say, my system is not a small fry. It is a system that does have some performance goods. It does give out some pretty decent performance. But I am streaming and playing this game from the same system. That compromises it as well. And a couple of other things. So, yeah. But, cool. To have driven at Spa in real life a couple of times and the sun coming through the sky and you recognising it and saying, yeah, it looks like that, is really cool. It's a wonderful, wonderful look. Right, I'm going to have a quick sip of this. Which is not alcohol in there, by the way. The driving would definitely suffer even more if it was. So that's just some normal cola. Right.
VRVin BEANSEL says.
Side note, not sure if my Quest is faulty. I have never managed to get it to cast to my phone so I can see what my daughter is doing to help her through it.
You have to have a phone that is, as long as the phone that it's casting to is possibly a compatible type. The Quest has some other issues with casting. What game were you trying to play as well? But it could be system based as well. If you are trying to play certain games, there are certain games in the Quest that won't cast. And obviously you need to be on the same network. But there are some issues over casting games out to phone or TVs or things like that, depending. But yeah. I didn't find a problem with casting to my phone, but I don't know on yours. It's phones I hadn't heard so much trouble apart from in certain games. And they're not always because of technical reasons. Some of them are because of legal reasons for content where, there's copyright issues that come up.
VRVNBEANSEL says,
Literally any casting, like from the menu onwards. Same network.
Okay. Don't know why then. Other than the actual phone that you're trying to cast to doesn't like taking it. But I don't know on that. I haven't had a problem. It was really, really easy to do. Yeah. You kind of you got to be stumped there. Right. I need to get on with stuff. Don't. Got that there, got that there, got that there. We're going to press there. And I need to press there. Okay. So, let's once more, and we'll do this once more on a restart. I do like this one.
Says it's casting, but black screen then drops out saying headset is in sleep mode.
Is someone taken the headset off and then put it back on again?
VRVNBEANSEL says,
Driving me crazy. No stop to swap it to see either.
No shop to, I guess. But all I can say, if you are taking the headset off, the sensor thing, what we normally do for streaming is I normally get like a bit of tissue and just have it so it's clipped over the sensor that's on the inside of the headset so that the headset doesn't go into a sleep mode or turn off that way.
VRVNBEANSEL says,
Stock.
Yeah. Oh, no stock to swap. Yeah. But, yeah, no, I that's the only thing I can think of. But hopefully you can sort that. But it's odd, like I say, I never had a problem. The only other thing I can suggest is make sure that you're, the typical thing of updated drivers, thing there, power, blah, blah, blah. Other than that, I would, what...
VRVNBEANSEL says,
Oh well, we'll keep trying.
Yeah. What make of phone are you trying to cast it to as well? Because like I say, the make model of phone that you're trying to cast to may have something to do with it as well. But if you're trying to cast to Android, is obviously probably going to be easier than casting to Apple because then it's an Android, technically speaking, it's an Android device to an Android device, and that usually goes smoother. Right, I'm going to restart that. I might have to sort of like not try to think too hard on some of the answer backs on some of the techie stuff, because my concentration on some of these corners is definitely hurting.
Stay in double file.
Lights are on.
Viarvin the EANSEL says.
It's a Huawei.
Sayavia
It's a Huawei. Okay.
says, good luck with Brussels corner, the chocker.
Green light, give it all you can.
Oh. Ah. Wow. That was feeling so good. That was feeling just so amazingly good. And then, ouch. That was so cool. Oh, that's so cool. So cool. Oh, it shows you how amazing people in real life are at doing this. Just maximum respect. Because this stuff is not easy. I love the excitement of it. But, I mean, doing this in real life, that does take some serious, oh, ho, ho.
Green light, go, go, go.
Missed out to the boat late. Oh my god. Wow. Totally missed out to the boat late. That was all vicious. That was vicious. Oh, I'm losing it a bit. I don't mind saying I am definitely losing it a bit. Wow. Okay. Let's get this.
Stay in double file.
Mr. Boatley back there. I saw what you did.
Sage Cedar says, no.
That was my fault, but vengeance is mine. It's a piece of AI. Oh. No, 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 no. Wow. Let's just play it. We'll see if I can improve things. If I can catch them back up again. Oh. Short shifted a bit there. That was okay. Not as clean as it could be. Oh, it just looks really too good. It does look so amazing. Oh, that felt good. Hopefully we can catch up with them a bit. Yeah, we caught a good bit there. Oh, and messed that up, but look at that. I'm past caring with the race there. I'm just, look at how good that looks. Even the little sort of like flickers in the fence beams all the pillars. It looks too good as a game.
Crossing fastest now.
We're just going to go round at my pace at the minute, which is going to be a bit slow. Because I am messing up now. Getting rather late. Is a nice car actually. I'm liking the Lexus. Oops. I've got a screen up over here and I don't know how to here we go through the views. I'm eating bonnet. I'm trying to turn something off over here. And I don't know what.
We are halfway through. Keep pushing.
Okay. We're at the end and I'm losing it. Wow, look at the trees. They're pop. There's a good bit of pop in that, but that is pretty damn amazing. We'll just end it on meaningless stuff here, you know. I think that's how we're going to end it, because I can't do any more racing. My brain will not take it at the moment, unfortunately.
Sayavia says, have to go. Thanks for the stream. Glad you enjoy the Lexus grinning face with big eyes.
Sayavia.
Thanks.
Have a good sleep.
Yeah, I think I will do. Thanks for coming. Thanks for pressing the subscribe button as well. Good to have you in the chat. Wow. Just it's very odd to do this in VR where you're out of the car. That's starter and ignition, isn't it? So I've forgotten what some controls here do, because I've got the car electronics is all showing up on a panel on my left, and I don't know how to get rid of it. And it was just kind of distracting me a bit that it's there. I know I can flash the lights. See that? Yeah, passing for flashing it. So that'll flash the lights. I have to set some other things up on there. But listen to the roar of that. I mean, just listen to this car, man. The sounds of these engines. All the cars in here just, they do sound absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Can we go into the pit here? I wonder what will happen if I go into the pit. Pit limit should be, there it is. So we can drive straight through. Or we can stop in for a quick stop. Why not? There we go.
Come on, let's go.
How awesome is this? You gotta love Sims. Longest pit lane ever. Just saying. This is like so long. It's like, what? Crazy. Yeah, I think that's gonna do for today. We'll hit on the replay, but there. So yeah, I think that's pretty much just so damn pretty. And obviously, Fanatec, if you're out there and you're seeing this, you're quite welcome to send me a podium series, you know, PS4 F1 edition to try out if you like. I don't mind. I won't complain. But as it stands at the moment, this is Assetto Corsa. This has been the 1.0.4 update which is actually a fix to an earlier update, the 1.3, the point 0.3, which happened earlier in the day before it. But check this out. Look at this. So damn good looking. Honestly, it's amazing. Here they come. Wow. It looks too good, doesn't it? Right. Okay. Well, thank you for everybody that has joined in. Of course, if you are watching this on YouTube on playback and you haven't actually subscribed, there's going to be a subscribe button like that way. Then there's going to be like another video up there and a video over there. This has been ACC, and just remember that to look this good in VR, you need a powerful PC. Oh boy, yes you do. Take care and good night.